Hello, everybody.
Good morning. You have your cup of coffee, your tea, whatever you're drinking for the morning. Coffee Moments with Mike and Jay Glenda. I'm happy that you're here. So, anyways, I never watch the news. You know that. You're usually the one that tells me about the news. But for whatever reason, I was clicking through the other day, last night, and I saw that there's that big storm coming through.
Yeah, it's not coming where we are, but I guess it's hitting the East Coast tomorrow, Sunday. And so that's you want to do is make sure you're prepared for that and wish everybody the best and careful driving. The biggest thing is if you don't have to go anywhere, don't go anywhere.
That's what they say. Stay off the roads.
Yeah, because it's just they have a challenging time out there as it is. And the best thing to do is just don't go anywhere.
And he can tell you from experience, actually, he used to do snow removal. And so he can tell you that it makes it harder, I guess, for you guys to get around when there's a lot of traffic on the roads to even get to the roads.
Yeah, people get stuck, or you're stranded. I've seen people at local gas stations, just can't get up a hill or something like that, or just can't go no further because of all the traffic. So it's best to just stay home.
Yeah, I think a lot of people nowadays, if you're fortunate enough that they're like, they can work, like say that they have the job and they have to go into the office 2 or 3 times a week, but they can pick 2 or 3 days that they're able to stay at home and work. Like they don't have to. Remember during COVID, everybody was working at home? And
yeah.
Now they're bringing everybody back to the office.
Right.
So being a nurse myself, I had no choice. I had to go in the bad weather. So there are, things like that you have to get there no matter what the weather is. So, but anyway, so stay safe out there. And we were just down at the river and we saw big chunks of ice. Like it was crazy. Like as big as like your couch floating down the middle of the river. Where was that you showed me that had like a ice jam or something like that?
Well, we're in Pennsylvania, so it's Oil City up in that area that is ice jam, and so we've had unusual weather of being so cold, and so that's the byproduct of it. So.
And one of the things do you remember when I put on the dating thing? Your job was to keep me warm. Yeah. I cannot stand to be cold. I hate to be cold. I just don't like anything about the cold. It's pretty to sit inside by a fireplace and look out and see it snowing. I love that, but I do not like the cold weather. And the older that I get, the more I don't like the cold. So I think a lot of people are that way.
And I'm the opposite. I'm always hot.
Yeah.
And then like she's one would have 10 blankets on her, and then I'll have a sheet on me.
But that's good because we don't fight over blankets.
Yeah.
He takes them off him and throws them.
I'll pull my blanket over to her.
I'm happy about that.
It's been a strange winter, at least on the.
And the other thing is that with the register, how many couples you go through that one room? Our thermostat is in the dining room. I will go through. I will turn it way up because I'm cold. And the next thing I know, I'm sitting in the living room watching TV, and I'm freezing. So I got like all these blankets on me. I'm like, why am I so cold? I just turned the temperature up, and I go to get a drink and go past to check, and somebody else will walk their little self past it and turns it back down. So how many couples are like that? One runs hot and one runs cold. I think that's a lot of people.
And one thing I also want to mention of clearing snow, be careful because if you have any type of condition or that, it's or you can pay someone to get it to do it for you. Just again, your health-wise, because this you don't want to do is have a situation that happens that you get hurt or that or something worse clearing snow. So just be careful.
Another thing is, oh my gosh! So I saw on Facebook, this lady didn't want to drive out in the storm, so she ordered McDonald's from that delivery, whatever Uber Eats. And so, but she didn't want to go outside because it was so cold. So she this long walkway. And it was like all this snow on the walkway because she didn't want to go out. She wanted to drive, she wanted to go out. She was hungry. So she ordered for herself and her kids Uber Eats McDonald's. So the driver comes and he can't get to her front door, right? So he leaves it on the edge of her, like almost really by her mailbox, because he didn't want to take a chance of falling probably, or to get it to her front porch. So he left it at the edge of her driveway where her walkway was and took a picture of it in the snow. So she was livid, and she thought she shouldn't have to pay for the order because the food was cold and he didn't actually deliver it. She said he might as well left it on the street. So what's your take on that? What do you think? I think that if I was my kid and he was delivering, I wouldn't want him to take a chance of falling.
Well, I mean, they're not even kids anymore; they're adults.
That's true.
Delivering, and I agree with them that you shouldn't have to walk through the snow or that. It's a safety thing, and
yeah, it's a big
if
safety
that
thing.
driver falls on your property, then
you got an issue.
So.
So I say if you're going to be ordering Uber Eats on a snow day or anything else,
at least clear a path.
At least clear a path for them to get to your front door. I couldn't even believe she posted that she was like mad about that. I'm like, to me that's common sense. But I guess she didn't want to drive in it, she didn't want to get outside in it. I get that, but but do a pathway for somebody to get to your front door.
And if you're doing something silly like that, that's silly, ordering during that type of weather. But
they don't want to drive in it either.
But anyways, you better be tipping well.
He's a big one on tips.
You better be tipping well.
He's a big one on tips.
Nothing that $2 for $10 order or something like that. You better be tipping well, because I'm a big thing that hey, it's an inconvenience. You're paying for an inconvenience.
Okay, here's another thing. So so if you go out to eat and you are ordering takeout, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think you should have to pay a tip on takeout. They're not giving you a service. You are the service. You are the one picking up the food. You're the one ordering the food. You're the one taking it home, putting it on the plates, doing the dishes. What are you paying a tip for? I don't think that you should pay a tip on picking up food.
A lot of times they have like a tip jar there, and throw a couple bucks. It doesn't mean if you're ordering a $70 takeout, you're going to tip based on
like
$70,
20 or 25%,
$70,
right?
And then throw a couple bucks in a tip jar.
I agree with that.
Because they're a lot of these people aren't getting paid much, and it's
that's true.
And again, it's.
So you would probably say if we ordered.
I tip them. Someone helps me at Home Depot load stuff in my truck. I tip.
He always gives them a couple bucks.
That's just me.
He's very generous that way.
I just feel as far as it. You should do is show appreciation for the service.
You know what I do have to say? So now when I go and I pick up like takeout or something like that, if they have a tip jar, I will throw a couple bucks in there, because I do think you're right. Like if you say you order food and it comes to $60 or $70, no, you don't have to give like a $20 tip or $25 tip, but a couple dollars in a jar isn't going to kill you. And I do think it shows your appreciation.
She was not always like that.
Well, I always tipped, but not as generously as he did.
I had a point on thing like one time a guy helped me load my truck.
He's tipping. He tips everybody.
In Home Depot. And why'd you give him money? Why'd you give him $5?
He gives everybody
the guy
that.
helped me load my truck.
Oh, by the way, so he borrows my car the other day. And I always keep like a couple fives, maybe 2 5s and a gang of 1s in my little thing in case I get stuck or I want a sandwich or something through the drive-thru or whatever, and I'm out on the road or I need toll money or something like that. So I keep a cup just with maybe like 2 5s and a gang of 1s. So I get in my car after you borrowed it the other day, and what is there? I reach down and there's like, I don't have my 5s there because somebody gave it to the firemen that were standing on a corner with a boot, which I'm fine with. That's okay. But you took it out of my jar, so now my emergency money is depleted. So you are not permitted to use my emergency fund for tipping. I'm telling you. So no, my emergency money is not for tipping. That you have to get out of your wallet. Pull your wallet out and get it out of there. Do not use my emergency money for tipping.
Okay.
But I think that actually, if you go out to eat, I think it's 20% if it's good. 20 to 25%, I think is the same. Another thing is that a lot of people, did you know this? We never do this. But I read that a lot of people, like say our bill, because tax can be expensive on food, because you're getting taxed to eat out. So they will not tip on the tax, which makes sense. So say your bill's $20 and the tax is like $4. So your bill comes to $24. So you would give, you know, a $5 or $6 tip on that. No, they'll say the bill is $20. They're only giving a $4 tip. So you and I are giving 6 or 7 because we're, you know, and most people are only given 4 because they do not add the tax with included in their tip. I never even thought of that.
Yeah, but again, who's benefiting from that tip? The person that's making very minimal
And
money.
trying to, and working
Very
hard.
minimal money. So
And a lot of-
again, I'm not.
Yeah.
I used to say my parents, when I'd go to dinner when they retired, and they go, okay, let me. And all the seniors would be there. I'm a senior now, but all the seniors would be there, and they'll be like dicing up the. Well, you know, I don't know. Did you order this? You know, and then it's like, oh my God, just pay the thing. But they would do it every time, and
'Cause they're
and they're
watching.
probably, hey, they're smart or whatever. But it's just funny that.
That they'll sit there for a half an hour and debate who had it.
But again, that does make sense. But again,
Make
who's,
sure
who's
the bill
benefiting it, and you know, just
They are
tip,
working hard.
tip appropriately. You know,
I think that,
and
yeah.
if you have a big family there and that person's busting their tail, you know, tip appropriately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tell them that one time. Okay, so talk about the tip. You have to tell them that because you still remember that guy when you were doing caddying at what was that club?
Okay. Yeah.
Oakland,
No, it was a Pittsburgh Field Club.
Pittsburgh Field Club. Mike used to be a caddy, and when he was younger, and he still remembers this. So I
A
think
guy. I must have been the best caddy. So anyways, the guy, and my sarcasm has never left me. And he hits the ball, and he, you know, they would call. You would wait as a caddy halfway up the hole, where he was supposed to hit it. And then, anyways, I hear caddy. What? I go down and walk down.
he was in high
and
school, I think.
I was in junior high school.
Oh, there you go.
And so, anyways, did you see I dubbed that ball? And no, I didn't see it. I says, if I was my kid, I would have stuck my foot up, you know, and
His butt.
nowhere. So, anyways, I said, thank God I'm not your kid. So again, I'm like 14 years old. So, anyways, I'm carrying these Rodney Dangerfield type bags around the course, big huge golf bags.
Heavy bags. A kid.
And so anyways, and I'm not that big. There's about this much ground clearance, and so we get in, and the guy doesn't give me the full rate.
Which was
and
what?
You know,
Back
at
then.
that time it was like $7 a bag. So
All
it gets-
day carrying his bag.
So $14 for 2 bags for 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours, and so. He says, "I caddy, you know, I didn't like him or that," and then he gives me $6.50 for his bag. So the guy,
That was
I
with him,
had
playing
the other
golf
bag.
with him.
I had the other bag. He says, "Give him the, you know, that full amount plus whatever." He gave me a tip. He said that kid
Okay.
busted his butt for it. So again, it's
And he said, and
you know,
I'll take care of it.
yeah, and then I appreciate that.
14,
but-
he still
but-
remembers that guy's
but-
name.
Oh yeah, but there's always, but you always have people like that. But again, it's just funny as far as
I think that might have had something to do with you really being sensitive to the fact that people are working hard and that tips are a big part of what they're working for.
Well, I mean, I've always had secondary jobs, and so you know, I'm a workaholic. So and I still I'm retired from my main job, and I still have a secondary job, and I do landscaping. But the you know, I appreciate people out there busting their butt, you know, that,
Yeah.
and
So
the
that's our
fellow
take on,
landscapers and stuff like that as well.
yeah. So that's our take on tipping. And I am going to start, if I see a jar, throw it. You know, it doesn't have to be 20%, but throw a couple bucks in. But I've always tipped. I don't tip everybody for like anything that they do, and he does. And I think that people do really appreciate that. And really, it's just a way to show gratitude.
And, you know, another thing is, okay, not even just tipping, just say thank you. One time going through, just probably a few months ago, going through a drive-through, and I says, came up to pay in the window and how you doing? And the young kid, I'm doing fine. Doing okay. He says, you're the first one that asked me that today. I said, I appreciate that. So again, just saying, just being nice. Thank you, and just giving them time of day. There's sometimes means a lot.
And I think, what I just heard this. I don't think I even told you, is that when you go out and you have, most of the waiters and waitresses and the staff or whoever's working at the local place, they all have name tags. You might recognize their face, but you might not take a point to try to remember their name. It means a lot to somebody when you call them by their name. I know they said, I read that there was a couple and he was out with his dad, a guy, and there was another family across from them, and they couldn't get the waitress constantly. They were trying to, we wanted refills on our drinks, and they couldn't get her attention. And they saw her name. Her name was Sarah. So they said, hey, Sarah, and then she'll turn around right away and get whatever that they need. It's just a form of respect that you take the time to try to remember. So if you go to local establishments and you're always seeing the same faces that are working there, take a minute to try to remember their name. They might not remember yours because they're serving so many people, but it makes a difference that when you talk to somebody by their name.
With that, though, in today's situation, everybody's looking for people to work.
They can't get the help.
So you read the room, though, and we were out recently, and I noticed the waitress had like half the restaurant, and she was running around there. And then so just again, you would like you do is have your glass filled up, but again, it's not necessarily that individual's fault that with it. It doesn't mean you have to accept poor service, but it's doing the best they can with it. You don't take it out.
A lot of restaurants have it shut down because they can't get the help.
Yeah.
They can't get the help. So
so thankful for the one that's there for doing half the restaurant.
Yeah. So if you see somebody running around, don't say this is terrible service and I'm not leaving a tip, because they're working harder than they've ever have that night. Maybe somebody was sick and called off. I know in nursing that's what happens to us.
Maybe you just won't go back to that restaurant.
Yeah, pick a different restaurant a different day or something. But anyways, so I know nursing, I was going to say real quick, as a side note, if somebody calls off, we still have the same amount of people to take care of. And so, we try to get people to come in or something like that last minute. But bottom line is that, the work still has to get done. Everybody still has to get taken care of, and we're covering each other and helping each other the best we can. So if maybe you have to wait an extra couple minutes for something, or whatever service line that you're in, just be patient and kind with the people there. I think that's our takeoff from that. So anyways, I think that's a good note to
thoughts
stop.
and prayers to the ones dealing with the snow.
Yeah.
Coming up tomorrow, Monday.
It won't be you. You're not doing snow removal.
Yeah, and locally we're not getting that much, so I won't be clearing any snow.
He'll be sitting in a fireplace by me watching it snow if we get any. Anyways, that's it for today. I hope you guys have a great day. Stay safe out there, and we will catch you tomorrow. Take care. Oh, don't forget to subscribe and follow Mike and Jay Glenda on Coffee Moments. Bye-bye.